This mascot thought he was safe while shooting a video in the woods, but he almost got eaten by a bear. Well, I hope you're having a great day, because now it is time for another episode of Odd News Weekly, where we find the craziest stories on the internet for you weekly. And this week we talk about crazy stories like Chinese adults fighting stress using pacifiers. And you have to stay to the very end to find out the craziest thing that this teenage adventurer found when he visited an abandoned warehouse he found on Google Earth. So strap in for another great episode, get yourself a snack, be comfortable, make sure you hit like and subscribe, you know it really helps, and so you don't miss another video. And let's start with story number 1. Hockey mascot almost gets eaten alive by a bear while shooting a video in the woods. Seattle NHL team mascot Boy, along with some players, went to go fishing to shoot a video when this grizzly bear slowly started approaching them, at one point charging towards them at full speed. Oh my god, that's a really close call. Look how fast that bear is going. It's going really fast. I don't have bears where I live, but those things are big and scary. And this NHL team said they didn't want to include this bear during shooting, but well, I guess you shouldn't have gone into its territory fishing the salmon. Oh, its favorite food is salmon, by the way. And then you're in its territory, so I don't blame that bear. He was just chilling and you guys just came into his house and started messing with stuff. But apparently Hayden, a player on the team, said Boy was to blame because the mascot probably caught the intrigue of these bears. Because that mascot sure does look interesting. I'm not sure what it is. I think it's supposed to be a kraken, but I don't know what it is. But the good news is everyone got home safe and no one got injured, so that's some good news. And here's some advice for you guys. If you're scared of bears, don't go to where the bears are. I hope it helps. Well, speaking of trespassing into territory, we have story number 2. French farmers get rid of trespassers by spraying them with poop. I can't keep my face straight. I mean, that's a funny story. They got spray with poop. Whose idea was this? To spray the trespassers with poop. But in this viral video, you can see tractors hauling large containers of poop, subsequently spraying it onto the trespassers who are chasing after the tractors, and it's a crazy sight to see. It's crazy. It's crazy to look at. Well, this is how the farmers retaliated for all these campers who were staying illegally on their land. You can actually even see the people getting sprayed as they chase the vehicle. I mean, you could probably smell that it's poo. I don't know why you would chase it, you're trying to stop it, but you're just getting sprayed with poo. You should stay away from the poo, people. Stay away from the poo. Why are you chasing it? Doesn't make any sense. It's not a fun watch. I can practically smell this video. It's not good. It's not good. But this video did get viral online and people had a lot of things to say about it. One commenter said, "Bruh, how inconsiderate do you have to be to camp on a farmer's field? Like, dude, that's their livelihood and you could be at the very least screwing with the soil, man." So yeah, now you know. Everyone agrees with the farmers and you probably shouldn't mess with them because they have unlimited ammo and they're not scared to use it. Ammo meaning poo, by the way. I wouldn't want to be messing with the farmers because poo, no. Well, moving on, speaking of more wildlife, people in South Africa hope to stop rhino poaching by injecting their horns with radioactive material. You heard that right. This initiative, spearheaded by Dr. James Larkin, is all about devaluing these rhino horns so poachers stop trying to steal them. But one thing came to my mind when I heard this headline. Do you guys know Rhino? You know, the villain from Spider-Man, Rhino? Well, this is where it starts. We're gonna create a mutant evil rhino villains with this radioactive material and it's all over. The world is gonna end. We're gonna have mutated rhino villains. Does anyone understand how dangerous this could be? Okay, I'm calm. Well, after a little bit more reading, it looks like this is actually really safe for the rhinos after they did some extensive testing. But apparently it really helps these rhino horns be more detectable when they cross borders. So it's gonna be really hard for poachers if they try to carry this around with them. This is a massive win against poaching everywhere. This could also then be used for other animals that are really prone to poaching too. So that's great. But you know what I realized? I realized that the poachers are the real villains. So we should be afraid of them. But I'm just really worried about these rhinos turning into mutant evil rhino villains. I mean, is that just me? Is it just me? Moving on from villains all the way to little babies, we got story number 4. Apparently, adults in China are fighting stress by using pacifiers. Sucking on pacifiers. That's right, you heard me right. In this week's edition of The Chinese youth are under so much stress that they found another way to curb that, and it's by sucking on these adult pacifiers. This is because they're stressed from work, car payments, having to pay bills, and other things you have to worry about as an adult in 2025. But looks like they deal with it in a very interesting way that I personally have never considered. I've been under some stress, you get under some stress with some money, bills and all that, but never once have I considered, if I suck on this pacifier, maybe I'll be relaxed. I don't know, I've never thought that in my life. Man, I'm just so stressed out. I got student loans, I got bills, I got a car payment, I'm running out of money. I'm so stressed out right now, man. Here, man, why don't you just suck on this a little bit? It'll help you with your stress. Suck on what? But yeah, as strange as it is, people are reportedly saying that they do feel less stress while sucking and biting on it, making them sleep better, and also feeling calm like a baby. Well, who knows? Maybe this is all just a marketing ploy that e-commerce brands are using to market their product. The product of adult pacifiers, by the way, which is a really strange product. And I guess some of them are saying it's working, so I guess that's not a bad thing. But it's pacifiers. This is so confusing. I don't know. Maybe I should buy one, actually. I've been kind of stressed lately. Now I'm really considering it. Maybe they're onto something here. I don't know. Moving on to something even less believable. We have a huge fire that got started by a bird and a fish. In more news that make you want to say, no way this could be real. A bird from Western Canada dropped a fish onto some power lines that caused a massive brush fire that got firefighters scrambling to contain. And it's just one of the craziest ways that I've ever heard of a fire actually starting. Imagine what the bird was thinking. Man, I'm tired of eating raw fish. Every day I eat raw fish. I gotta try something new. What if I try cooking it? But apparently the real reason was because the river was a little far away, and the bird probably got tired because it's been really hot lately, so it just let go of the fish that incidentally fell into the power lines. But it looks like nobody was hurt and the fire was contained, so everything's all good. I just hope that birds stop experimenting and stick to their nature of eating raw. And everyone's gonna be safe, because these experiments, they turn out to be really harmful. They make fires. They're like me in the kitchen. Just kidding. I'm safe. I only burned something down one time. And just when you thought animals couldn't get any crazier, well, listen to this story. This nest was found near a nuclear facility, and now it's filled with radioactive wasps. Wasps! Yup, as if the radioactive rhinos weren't enough. There's a facility in South Carolina where nuclear bombs used to be made in the 50s, and workers at this nuclear site found this wasp's nest that was really near where they keep the nuclear waste. And when they checked it, it was apparently 10 times the amount of radiation that was acceptable. 10 times! You know what that means? We're all gonna die. We're all gonna die. Radioactive rhinos, radioactive wasps everywhere. This is not good. This is not good. This is the beginning of a Marvel movie. I can feel it. I can feel it. But seriously, it gets even crazier and more mysterious. When the people responsible were asked if there were any leaks in the nuclear waste site, they said there were no leaks and that the wasps in the nest were nowhere to be found. They say that the wasps couldn't have flown far from the facility. But still, they're out there and they're free, and they're radioactive, and they're mutated, and they're evil, and we're gonna die. We're gonna die. Wasps are evil. Local authorities are still checking in on this site, and they're saying just a lot of things aren't adding up. So it really might mean there's some mysterious stuff going on down here, like the start of a Marvel movie. But yeah, I hope they get to the bottom of this case, because if they start reproducing, then it's over. It's over. I'll just tell you, it's over. World War III now. World War Wasp. It's over for us. It's over. What the radioactive wasps? What if they're like large? Anyway, you better get to it, guys, because the fate of humanity is in your hands. Well, speaking of something that isn't about the human race, there's a festival in Indonesia that's all about UFOs. There's a strange festival in Yogyakarta, Indonesia, that's all about extraterrestrials and UFOs. And I guess this place has a history of sightings in the past, but this specific festival that started in 2016 includes a replica of a Mars exploration module and galleries with artistic interpretations of outer space, while workshops for adults and students offered cosmic activities such as spacesuit construction. Honestly, it sounds really strange and odd, but it does look like a fun time. And Venja Christ I don't know if I said that right. The founder of Indonesia's Space Science Society said that this generation should have more creative ideas with technology, science, and art, and that this generation should imagine outer space and imagine limitlessness. And that's what this festival is all about. Very interesting stuff. Now, I thought it was all about aliens and extraterrestrials and UFOs and all that, but it's also about helping the youth build more creative ideas and not limiting themselves. So it's all for the best. This looks like a fun time, actually, for real. Looks like a lot of fun. But moving on to a really wholesome story for this episode, watch these animals beat the summer heat on National Watermelon Day. For this week's episode of Aww, we have some animals munching away at this really delicious and refreshing fruit on National Watermelon Day. Who knew that all these animals love watermelon this much? Look at how that elephant just inhaled that thing. But man, this summer is getting really brutal, so a really nice refreshing snack would be great for anyone, even all our furry friends at the zoo. Even this turtle is having a ball, look! Animals enjoying themselves, being happy and cute. Nothing's cuter. Nothing's cuter. We love to see it. But it really does make me think everything has a day now, even National Watermelon Day? National Watermelon Day? I deserve a day. When's Brick Day? When's Me Day? I don't know. In more news that'll make you go, huh? Did you know there's a company launching chips that are 9-volt battery flavored? 9-volt battery. Huh? I just checked my calendar and it doesn't say April. So it's not April Fool's, so what is this? Why 9-volt battery? But apparently, this Dutch brand called Rewind is all about nostalgia. And they want to make a product that brings back all the memories of all the kids in the 90s tasting batteries. Well, I was born in 96 and I've never tasted a battery in my life. Am I weird? Am I the weird one? Why is this company saying that all the kids are tasting batteries? Is it just not me? Am I weird for not tasting batteries? Huh? But this industry executive had this to say about the chips. A delicious tribute to a weird universal memory that tastes just like those careless teenage afternoons. Who are having teenage afternoons filled with tasting batteries? That's my question. That's my question. When was that a thing? Also, how do you make something taste like a battery? Is that edible? So many questions. But they do say that this Dutch brand is planning a really quick expansion in Europe, so don't be alarmed when you see some 9-volt battery flavored chips on your shelves near you. But I am definitely confused. Go millennials, I guess. You were doing some weird stuff in the 90s, definitely. Because batteries. Why? And for one of the craziest stories of the week, teenager finds abandoned warehouse on Google Earth, and you'll never guess what's inside. A teenager was looking around on Google Earth when he suddenly found an abandoned warehouse. And when he finally decided to check it out, it turned out to be the craziest thing ever. It was fully stocked with energy drinks and had NASCARs in it. That's right, energy drinks and cars. This is like a teenage boy's dream. Bro, I wonder what's in this abandoned warehouse. No way! Energy drinks and cars? Tyler's never gonna believe this. Sick! But apparently, this warehouse seems to have been abandoned since 2022, and Jonathan, the teen who found this place, posted the video on TikTok and it's going viral. Some people say he hit the jackpot, but one person commented, "If you find an abandoned building that hasn't been graffitied, used for parties, or used by squatters, leave. There's a reason they left it alone." Well, let's hope Jonathan is safe. And looks like there's actually a mystery behind this abandoned warehouse. Let's see where it goes. But you know what's not a mystery? My appreciation for all of you who stayed to the very end of this episode of Odd News Weekly. We had some crazy stories for this week, so please, all I want to say is please drop a comment down below and tell us about your craziest stories from this week, and we'll love to hear it. So that'll be all from me, your host, Brick. And remember, folks, stay odd. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and see you next week. Bye!